This is Morten from INKISH TV, and in this, I think this is actually the first recording we are doing here in 2021, so that is quite amazing. And for those who follow us here on INKISH, the gentleman I'm going to talk to in a few moments is a known character also here on INKISH TV. He has also become a friend, and he has also become a member of our advisory board. So who's better to talk to? Because this guy, he has just left can I say a positive position, Peter? Or and then you're going to be a new entrepreneur, or how is that with you?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened and what will happen. Yeah.
Okay, so in this session here, we're going to talk about, this is an extension to the series of mergers and acquisitions that we started just before Christmas. And when I wrote on LinkedIn whether there was somebody interested in talking about being the seller of a company, obviously Peter was one of the people that reacted to this. So Peter, we're going to talk about the things that you do today as well, but let's rewind a little bit. So before you joined Elanders, you actually had your own company. What kind of company was that?
The company was named Sommer Corporate Media, and it was in these times, it's now 14 years ago, a very successful company with around 120 people located in Weibling and close to Stuttgart. And everything was good so far. There were no discussions about the crisis of the printing industry. Digitalization was far, far away. And suddenly a banker from Nordea Bank popped up in my phone and asked me or told me that there is a Swedish company wants to acquire my company. And in the first step, I said, I don't want to sell. Everything is good. But then he said, can I come to Weibling and can we talk? And then I also said, okay, I tell them a price, which they probably cannot accept. And what happened? They accepted. And then I said, okay.
As we have been talking about so many times, shit happens, right?
Yeah.
So before we're going to talk about, I mean, I'm interested and curious more in that story, of course, but can you tell a bit what kind, I mean, you said that you were a successful company. What kind of technology did you have? What kind of products were you selling? And how do you think that you became successful?
Yeah, we have been focused on industrial customers. As you know, we are in the south of Germany. South of Germany is the automotive country. So all the big automotive companies have been our customers: Audi, Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, etc. And that's what the Swedish guys were looking for. What kind of customers does he have? They had no idea about the business in total. And we had early in this phase, we had also digital printing, and we started up to create a digital printing business case. Mm-hmm. And this combination, this package probably was the decision maker for the Swedes to acquire my company. Mm. And I remember very well when they paid the price, and there was the big shareholders annual meeting in Gothenburg 1 month later, and I was completely full of respect. I thought if they are sitting the analysts and I had to make a speech there, and if they see my Mickey Mouse company, they will start to laugh, and the share price will drop down immediately. But fortunately, funnily, it was completely different. Mm. Nobody asked any difficult questions. The share price went up. Everything was good.
Mm. Peter, that is, of course, that sounds, of course, like a fantastic story. And when you were, I mean, you said it was like 14 years ago. And before, I mean, how long time did your company exist before you got in that position?
It was around 22 years ago. Mm.
So you would say that 22 years of your time, that is the time it takes to get a company made successful, or have you learned your lesson in that period?
Sometimes it was a painful way, but more or less, I must say, I was a lucky guy. It's always had the right nose, always had the right feeling. On a very early stage, I realized that digital printing will be the future, and so it worked quite good. And I must say, with the acquisition from Elanders, I had an open door for more acquisition, for more strategy, and to be honest, I could always do what I wanted to do. There was nothing, there was nobody telling me anything about what I had to do.
And when you say that, I can't help think about how fortunate you are in that position, because I think that sometimes when you're going into an acquisition phase where you're selling off your life work, right? Then at some point you could maybe fear that what happens to all the things I've done, what happens to the employees, what happens to the customers, and basically you could continue just being part of a bigger group, right?
Yeah. At first, I thought, of course, as soon as they had acquired me, they will send a Swedish guy sitting beside me and being also managing director. And I thought in my head, okay, if I don't like it, I will quit. But nobody came. Nothing happened. Nothing.
So if you look at from that perspective and also retrospect, because as you said, 14 years ago, the industry was, of course, way different than today. Would you say that the success and the synergies of Elanders and your ability to manage and grow the company let you be a little bit off the hook so you could do pretty much everything you wanted to do? Or is it more because the Swedes were more reluctant to just say that, okay, you do whatever you need to do? They knew that you were successful, right?
Yeah, the basic is you have to deliver good results.
Yeah.
If you don't deliver, then you have the Swedes on your neck and they bite you. I think you notice you are a Danish guy, and I know a little bit about Danish and Swedish, and the Swedish always think they are the best and the greatest. But as long as you deliver good results, nobody does want anything from you.
And if we talk a little bit about the synergies, because I mean, if you were a successful company and then you were acquired by Elanders, and I take that you may have known about Elanders before they approached you, but on the other hand, you probably didn't know from the inside of the company. So what did you, did it give you opportunities that you would have not been able to do without Elanders as part of your company?
Yes. For example, when I stepped into the Elanders group, it was a purely printing company. Global printing solutions was the claim. But it was a multi-local companies. They had printing companies in Hungary, in Poland, and in the UK, and whatever, but without any connection of that. And in the beginning, when I stepped in, I was part of the group management, which is the board of Elanders, and then it was like in a German football club. Small football club. Somebody tells you, "Oh, we have a problem there. Can you take it, Peter?" And then, and then I was the boss of Elanders Hungary. And I said, "What can I do with that?" Elanders Hungary was 2 years before the most successful printing companies, I would say, in the world, with operation profits of 25%, because they had one big customer. It was Nokia, where they were producing the manuals and the boxes and whatever in Hungary. But then they lost the job. Nokia went to Donnelly, and so the company was on the ground. And then I created a strategy to have a low-cost site, creating customers and jobs in Germany and produce them for low cost in Hungary. And that was really successful, I must say. Yeah. And this is an opportunity I would never have had as a middle class printer in Germany. And that's what I'm really thankful about that.
So the ability to take advantage of the group's printing resources on different locations and with different salaries and things like that obviously gave you opportunities that you wouldn't have had otherwise. But I take that let's turn a little bit back to when you sold the company. Let's talk about when the M&A or the banker, he contacted you. One thing is, you said that your immediate response was, no, I'm not for sale. And what changed your mind in that process?
The money.
The money.
What can I say?
But you must think today that maybe you gave them too low a price anyway, right?
When I saw the reaction, they say immediately yes. Then I thought, oh, the price was too low. But in fact, it was at that time, it was the highest, as far as I know, the highest price paid for a printing company ever. In that time. And then we know we are machen Druck.de, the deal with Simpress is 140 million. Okay, this is another story. But in that time, the price was really okay. And it was also really okay in the years to follow what we did and what we could do in the market.
Because one of the things that I believe that you are very well recognized for was also the fact that you turned your department or your company, you turned it into a fully digital company instead of being also an offset company, right? That must have also been quite interesting, because I mean it takes some courage sometimes to do all these major changes, right?
Yeah, it's you need the money background to invest in the machines, and you need investors who say, okay, we believe in you, do it. And there are of course some strange stories left and right. I remember very well when we discussed with the main shareholder, Carl Bennett, to buy a packaging company, because it was 10 years ago and everybody talked about packaging and you needed to have a packaging company. And we buy the packaging company out of bankruptcy nearby Stuttgart. And I had to make a business plan for the next years, and I made a very positive business plan. And I announced a 5% operating profit in year 3 for this company. And then Carl came to me and said, oh, Peter, don't you think you can make 8%? And I said, okay, maybe. And he said, okay, then buy it.
So again,
I still cannot believe it.
No, and again, that shows also the faith in you and the confidence in you. And so, okay, so the money, they spoke their clear language in relation to selling off your 22 years life work in that perspective. How much did it influence you that you could continue working in the same company? I mean, if you, let's say that they have said, here's a bag of money, but you leave the company. Would that have changed your opinion about the deal?
No, not really, because I know myself that I would immediately have started to create a new company.
Okay.
My problem today is that the location in Weiblingen, which is purely digital, inkjet and indigos and etc., is so strong now in the market that they have a sole position. You cannot go around this company, and I would really like to try to go around a little bit and eat something of their cake.
And let's move on to the next chapter, because then you had like 14 years in Elanders, and I think that one of the things I like about you, and I think that some people may not like so much about you, is that you have always been very direct and very open. And as you know, the first time you and I met each other was also, we have met each other in person one time, but otherwise it's always been through a camera. And you have never been afraid of saying your opinion. Is that something also from being part of a group where you are more people? At some point you need to discuss things and conclude on things. Are you also good at that, or are you only good at telling people what to do?
I'm lousy in diplomatics.
Yeah.
And at the end, it led to the end of my career at Elanders. I remember very well, we had a board meeting in Atlanta, and we had a a target about the profit rates for every business area, and I was president of print and packaging. And the target for print and packaging was 8% operating profit. And 8% for printing division, I think it's a I don't know many companies managing that. And then I made a presentation about that, and Carl was sitting there, and it was probably not his best day. And I and I said, okay, we have reached 8%, and he was sitting there and said, but I want 10%. And I said, hey, Carl, business is not a kindergarten. You cannot only say. And then that was the end.
Okay, and that was, because what you said is probably right. Is it the fact that when you say something that is direct, that sometimes it falls back because the person that asked you the question or asked you to deliver something can lose his face in case he is just acknowledging that. Is that, kind of things?
He was just pissed. And you have to look on, and that's what I probably will never learn. You have to look on these people, better make them not pissed. Because there will be some reactions, and you will get the reactions.
And I think that was also what happened in our interview when you said, for example, that Heidelberg was not a reliable partner. That pissed them off, basically, right?
Of course.
And I think that the good thing, if we can say anything about that, is that it basically have raised a lot of questions and debates about what is it we are here for, right? So it's not always bad to have the bad output of a conversation, even though it's blunt, because it can elevate to the next level in a discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So January 1st, 21, that is a new chapter of Peter Sommer's life. You changed your email address. I think you updated your LinkedIn profile, and suddenly you are not on the side of where you were selling your company, but you are now acquiring companies. How do you think that will be?
We are just in the beginning. The target is, of course, to create one strong unit with synergies out of all the other units. And let's say with the background we have in regards of marketing, in regards of customer solutions, in regards of the needs of the customers in the printing industry, I'm nearly sure that I'm completely sure that we will be successful. Of course, all the laws in Germany and the Arbeitsrecht and all the shit and
I knew you had to say shit at least one time in this interview.
It doesn't make it easy. It could be much more easier, but there's always a way you can go, and hopefully we will create in the next 6 months a very strong company having a good position in the market.
And when you and you have a business partner, when you guys take on investing in companies and turning them into something new and better and bigger, hopefully, has the COVID pandemic given you opportunities that would have been more difficult to get if it wasn't because of the time?
I think the COVID epidemic will show its face only in the next months. Okay. So far in Germany, you don't have to say I'm bankrupt. I cannot pay. It's everything is under the.
Okay, so what you say is basically that because of the COVID and because of the packages from governments and because everybody is a little bit more extend a little bit on easygoing in payments and things like that, you will see the negative effects when the vaccines are out.
After January, we will see the negative effects, and then all the zombies will pop up, and you will see. And I have seen many printing companies in the last months, and boy, the smell of death comes to you after you open the door. It's really, I cannot understand how these companies are still surviving. They are dead.
Yeah, I can't help think about, because Jan and I have been traveling the world before the pandemic, as you know, and I think that one of the things that we have also experienced is sometimes when you go into a printing company where you can feel there is a drive and there's a motivation from the employees and from the management, the entire vibe in the company is totally different from the companies where it's like,
Yeah,
we can't really, what should we do, and we
yeah,
have no ideas about the future. So
absolutely.
obviously, but when if people want to, let's say that they want to be acquired, or at least talk to people, maybe not you, but companies in general for acquisitions, what is should they prepare a business case, or is it the customers, just like when Elanders bought you, or that is the interesting part, or what is the interesting part for a company if they want to prepare themselves for sales?
Yeah, they have to have some USP.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a special web to print case. They have. In our last interview, I mentioned always also Schätzl. Schätzl is for me the only example I know who I would say, okay, I acquire him for a good money.
Yeah.
All the other companies we acquire we take them for low money or no money and bring them together with other companies. Schätzl is the only guy who has an USP, who has a business case, who knows marketing, who knows everything. This is the only company I can accept. He will probably not sell, and if he wants to sell, I cannot pay him. But I don't know any other company. Maybe there are some in the packaging area. Maybe, I don't know, but otherwise, all the thousands of simple printing companies producing flyers, brochures, saddle stitched, whatever shit, it's worthless. It's completely worthless.
It's kind of funny that you say this, because I can tell you I was asked to give a presentation at a trade show last year about the printing industry in Europe. I think it was the title. And I said, I can't do that, because as a filmer and as INKISH, the only companies we mostly talk to are the companies that are successful. So you can't use that as a compass for how the industry is actually doing. If you look at the successful companies that are like Schätzl, like Command Digital in New Jersey, and some of the printing companies we have visited around the world that are really fantastic, they don't say anything about the industry. They are exactly the ones that you talk about, that are the ones that stick out from the majority and have made a definition and decision of where they want to go. I can't help think about, because when we look at the numbers, we believe that there is about 1 million printing companies globally. 126,000 is in Europe, and I can't believe that all of them are stupid. That is unfair to say that, but sometimes it sounds a little bit like that when you talk to industry leaders, when you talk to the industry. It seems that a lot of people have given up. So where are we heading as an industry, in your opinion?
Let's say I would never say that they are stupid, but I would say they have missed to step in the next era in the printing industry. They still produce with mostly the same machinery, the same equipment, and they still hope that the time will stay. And this will not happen. That is the problem. And now what I say, the time is over to make new investments. It's not only to make an investment in a digital press. You have to have the IT guys, you have to have the software, you have to have the infrastructure and everything. And where should this come from? Even when you have the idea, you will never manage it. I cannot imagine.
I can't help think about, because you and I, we also participated in the Future Prints of business plans, right? And I was giving all my bad doings and also my own previous bankruptcy, and you were talking about that no printers really have a business plan, and if they have a business plan, they maybe not have the money to fulfill it. Is that the gap where you come in with your companies, basically, that say that, okay, previous owners, they don't have family to take over, they don't have a staff that wants to take over, and they may have some clients and they may have some equipment and they may have something, and you basically give them 10 euros and then they are kind of getting rid of the liabilities. Is that also what you're looking into, or is that too easygoing?
It's not easy. It's an opportunity. It's not easy going, but this is what we are looking into. And of course, we are looking for companies that, let's say, they have a good name. They are renommé printers. They have still have a good customer base, but mostly the customer base is not enough to give them a healthy business. It's just the water is directly under the nose. It goes, but not really good.
And I take that is also sorry.
Yeah, you have to do something to bring this company and this company together and create a new business. That's the idea. If it works, I don't know.
No, you're sure it works. I'm sure too. but I can't help thinking about because before we started recording, we also spoke about that sometimes the way the industry develops is similar. And as you said just before, when we look at the pandemic and what happens in the month that comes in the future, maybe it's time to have these really, really large consolidations. I think also in the US you see mergers and acquisitions like never before, both on the vendor side and also on the PSP side. And of course, if the industry is changing like it is right now, it is a natural and healthy thing. So there will still be bankruptcies. There will still be people that goes out of business, of course.
Yeah.
So it's more. For you, it's more a matter of identifying the ones that have a potential that in a group of similar-minded people and a good management and also some money to back it up with can take it to the next step.
Yeah, and let's say in the pandemic era with COVID, many jobs went away. Would not have been produced, whatever, no marketing campaign, etc., etc. And I'm really much afraid that they will not come back. The customers see, we can do it on another way. We can do it via website, via WhatsApp, whatever. And these jobs probably will not come back. And there will be jobs coming back, but it will be much less than before.
Well, Peter, as usual, it's been a pleasure talking to you here on INKISH TV and have your wonderful insights and your swearings. It's probably there will be a lot of beeps in the US edit. I don't know. Regardless, I thank you very much again for giving me the opportunity to talk to you. And of course, I wish you all the best.
Always a pleasure, Morten. Always a pleasure. Hope to see you soon. Take care.
Yeah, you too.
Bye-bye.